Okay. Yeah, you've heard my name, Mr. Ranga, from Alliance Girls. A lot has been said by Madam. In fact, I've been benchmarking and taking a lot of notes on her strategies. Okay, I will mention a few that she has not mentioned so that we can incorporate the Kapsabet way with the Alliance Girls way. And I believe if you put them together, you have a winning team. Now, allow me to confess that we have not always performed very well at Alliance Girls in business studies. In fact, I remember in 2016, we did very well. We had a mean of 11.57. Then we relaxed. You know, naturally, the year after is always the most difficult year. The year after a good, successful performance, the second year is very difficult. I remember we relaxed, and from 9 points, we moved all the way back to 9. I mean, from 11 points, we moved to 9 in the next year, 2017. 2018, we continued with the strategies of 2017, and we still slid down to 9.0. I remember in 2019, we moved up a bit to 9.65. And last year, due to the challenges of COVID, we were forced as a department to think out of the box. Remember, the terms were short, and these students, when they went home for those many months, they came back blank. I remember they had nothing. The first exam they did, they performed very, very poorly. So we had to think outside the box. And as we thought outside the box, we came up with a different strategy. I remember before we wasted so much energy, so much time with the slow learners, and this would really hurt our top performers because we'd spend so much time with them and we don't have time for the middle, cadre, and the top. So we decided this year, everybody is a slow learner. So we came up with a strategy that was for all of them. And in this particular strategy, this is what we did last year. Okay, by the way, last year we had 11.23. We had 138 candidates, 87 scored A, 26 scored A minus, 10 scored B plus, 5B, 5B minus, 4C plus, and the poorest was a C minus. So that was 11.23. And remember, at mock time, we were at 7.4. So the strategy we decided to adopt for third term was a radical strategy. It was a strategy that we had never tried before, but we were willing to experiment. So we decided to do a lot of testing. There were so many tests. Every week they did a paper. So I remember week 2, we advised them to revise from one work only. In fact, the strategy was read only book 1. So the students read book 1, and we had an agreement with them. If you score over 90, there will be a carrot. And the carrot for girls, let me tell you one thing that really works for girls, are lollipops. Lollipops are a game changer if you are in a girls' school. I don't know what works for boys. Oh, bread, eh? Oh, for boys it's bread. For boys it's bread. For girls it was lollipop. So lollipops was a game changer. If you scored 90%, you have to get lollipops. If you scored below 70%, you have to do a supplementary exam. Remember the supplementaries at university? Yeah, so that was the agreement with them. And we did Form 1, Series 1, 25 questions. And these 25 questions were to be done within 80 minutes. You have to do the 25 questions within the 80 minutes. And remember, it's not really 80, because one thing you need to know about Alliance, we have 9 classes. And these 9 classes are found over a distance of like 300 meters or 400 meters. So anytime you want to do an exam, they have to move from their classes to a common point, which would take like 10 minutes, especially if the science teachers were having a lesson before you, because the sciences and the English teachers always extend. Yeah, so this particular exam would be done in 70 or 65 minutes. So what did we achieve by this? We quickened their speed of thought. So we quickened their speed of thought. They were able to think fast. They were able to load. Loading is another strategy that we use a lot at Alliance, where we advise the students not to put only 4 answers. We tell them to put like 6, 7, 8. So they're able to load, and they're able to finish the exam within that time. Yeah, so week 2 was series 1, which was from 1 exam. Week 3 we did series 2, which was purely from 2 exam. Week 4 we did series 3, and then week 5 we did series 4. And remember, as teachers, it also calls for a lot of sacrifice, because one thing is that you have to mark these papers and return the papers before the next series, so that the people who are to do supplementaries will do the supplementaries before the next exam. And you remember, these exams, we were conducting them on Wednesday, so we have a lesson on Wednesday and another lesson on Monday. So it means over the weekend you have to have finished, and then on Monday you return the papers. As you are reading through the answers, the team that is supposed to do a supplementary would have another exam set, and they would do that exam. So we worked with a lot of commitments and with very short deadlines, so to ensure that we are finishing and revising and doing all that. So by the time we had done series 4 in week 5, we had achieved one very big milestone. Remember, I told you in the beginning, these students had forgotten everything during the COVID period. So we had done what we call OTC, Operation Tafuta Content. So we had looked for the content, and the content was now in the student's brain. So we had put in a disk. We had put in a disk by week 5 of that second term. So apart from that, we did a contest just like at Capsabet Boys. We had a content that occupied the remaining lessons before the mock. And in this particular contest, we divided them into groups, and we ensured that the winning group enjoyed some chocolates and enjoyed some lollipops and cakes and biscuits. Those are the things that work well for girls. So that is what we did, and I'm telling you, by the end of term 3, by the time they were sitting for their KCSE, paper 1, these students were very, very sharp. Because I remember they told me that paper 1, they did the exam in 1 hour, 20 minutes. They were through. So remember that one came due to subjecting them to 25 questions in a double lesson. So because of that speed, they acquired speed of thought. They were able to do this exam in 1 hour, 20 minutes. So after 1 hour, 20 minutes, they went through their work, they calculated their marks, they had a calculator, they awarded themselves, they marked their papers, and by the time I was seeing them, they had their marks. They told me, Mwalimu, That one we are through. Let us wait for paper 2. Yeah, so that is a good strategy, but a strategy that requires a lot of commitment, because you really have to do a lot of cracking. Remember, what works best after you are through with the syllabus is to ensure that you are sustaining interest. And the biggest way of sustaining interest is making sure everything you do is learner-centered. Let them do exams. Let you mark them, return, revise. Let them do as many exams as possible. Then again, if you subject them to targeted reading, revision, like Form 1, Form 2, like that in the series, again, you are helping them to read a small body of knowledge at a time. If they master that small body of knowledge at a time, then you are sure that they will be okay. Then again, when you are setting these exams, it gives you an opportunity to do what we call targeted setting. You're not just set for the sake. You're also trying to project what has not been set by the KCSE lately. So as you're projecting, you may be lucky. I remember, like in my targeted exams, between 17 to 20 questions came. Maybe not word for word, but that particular body of knowledge came. Remember, it is very possible for it to happen like that, because you are testing 25 questions within 7 topics. Remember, Form 1 has 7 topics only, isn't it? So as you're doing that, the probability of you getting some of those questions set in the exam is very high. So that is one thing that I realized that was very different from what I did over the last 3 years. And I would advise you also to merge it with the Kapsabet Boys model, and it will work well. Now, when it comes to early syllabus coverage, okay, we do it slightly different with Kapsabet Boys. As we have 2 double lessons from 1, 2, 3, and 4. So beside the 2 double lessons, we have remedials at Alliance Girls. So we ensure we use the remedials well, and then we create an hour for the different classes. For Form 2, our hour is on Monday 7 to 8:20. We normally have a session with Form 2s where we push the syllabus. Form 3, our hour is on Tuesday 7 to 8:20. Then from 4, the same hour is there, 7 to 8:20. Now the beauty of this hour is that no teacher is normally interested with the lower forms. I don't know why there's always that psychology where everybody wants to rush with the Form 4s. So when you organize a session with Form 2s, you will not have any competition from the other subjects. But when you try the same with the Form 4s, there will be competition with mathematics, there will be competition with chemistry for that time. So when you organize with the Form 2s, it will help you to cover ground. You cover a lot of ground there. Also in the Form 3s. So that by the time in Form 4, everybody is fighting for the attention of the Form 4s, already you are through with your syllabus. You're just revising. Yeah, that is one thing that we do. Our major challenge with Form 1s is that we have very big numbers. So we are not able to get a room to have any extra lessons with them. That is one of the challenges. Then the second challenge is that when they get to Form 2, they choose. So at times we find it difficult to work with somebody who is not there. Some of them have already dropped your business studies. They dropped it after term 1 results. So in order to sustain the interest, we tend to move with the syllabus. Form 1 we just barely finish in 3rd term. Then after you're finished, you don't move to book 2, because again of those complexities, we let them choose. Then when we get into Form 2, because of our extra hour, we're able to make up the ground very, very fast. Yeah, so that is what we do. We also do joint exams with Alliance High School. There's an exam that we'll do this term, a joint exam, and then we rank from position 1 to position 300. Now, Alliance High School have around 150 candidates taking business studies. We have around 150. So we have a joint ranking. And this one normally makes both the boys and girls work very hard. Because the girls don't want to be defeated by the boys. The boys don't want to be defeated by the girls. Anytime you are competing with the brother school, anytime the brothers and sisters are in competition, because of the fact that they all want to show they are more superior, they tend to read a lot. So we ensure that this competition only happens after Series 5, after Series 4 has been done, so that our girls will not have any excuse of being defeated by the boys. So that is another thing we do that motivates them. And the bottom line is that when it comes to 3rd term, we now know that our girls have the content. We now specialize so much on paper 2. Remember, as I've been talking all through, I've not mentioned paper 2 at any one point. And paper 2 is normally a very tough paper. So paper 2, we normally polish it in 3rd term. We polish paper 2 in 3rd term. We show them now the content that you have is the answer that we need up there. It scores your mark. Then we teach them how to put the cause, the consequences, etc. So that one we do in term 3. Term 3 is normally for paper 2. Then another thing that we do that is very important is that before we separate with them at the end of term 3, we find a way of ensuring that these students, we take some lunch with them. Business studies lunch. This business studies lunch is political, and it is also, it works miracles for us. Because when these girls eat some of the things that they have not been eating in school, part of the menu would include things like chips, sausages, cake, soda, samosa, etc. When they eat those things that they have not been eating in school, the girl child is normally touched at a very good point. And they now promise, teacher, you have fed us. Now that you have fed us, we will make sure that we will not fail you. So they will do anything. They will read that content for even 3 times to ensure that they do not fail you. So that luncheon is very political, but it gives us the results that we require. Our papers are done on Wednesday, and then we are supposed to have the marks revision by Monday. So we have the weekend. We can still continue. But if it's an end of term, we ensure that we finish the same day for end of term. But if it's the series exams, we mark at our pace. Okay? But we ensure that by Monday the paper has been returned, so that the Monday double lesson we use it for revision. Now that one takes me to the question on double lessons. Now at Alliance Girls, we have 10 lessons. I don't know how many lessons you have in a day. At Alliance Girls, we have 10. So out of the 10 lessons, we are able to get 2 doubles. So Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4. So we have 2 doubles. Yeah, so I don't know, I think we have created our own program, which is not in line with the traditional way things are done, but that's how we do it at Alliance. We have 10 lessons, so we have 2 doubles per form. Okay? Now, there is a question on extremely weak students. I feel you when you talk about extremely weak students. In the year 2019, I had 2 students who were extremely weak. Now somebody will ask me, how can you have extremely weak students at Alliance Girls? It happens. You know, not all the girls at Alliance Girls have 400 and above marks. Remember, we pick students from all over the country, isn't it? We have students from Northeastern, from all parts of the country. So we have students who have even 250 there at Alliance. So there is a delicate balancing act that you need to appreciate. And this delicate balancing act comes in the form of, if you spend all your time with them extremely weak students, fine, you may push them to grade C, C+. But you have sacrificed the middle cadre who are supposed to be pushed to A, and some of the A's will slip down to B. So we have to create a very delicate balancing act where you can deal with both situations. We always have a teacher. There's a teacher who we give those cases that are extremely weak. And the purpose of that teacher is to make them go through Form 1 and Form 2 work. And just remember the basics. List 4 forms of utility. Say 4 factors of production. Those simple concepts. We ensure that at least they have those simple concepts. And when it comes to paper 2, at least they know the answer on top. I don't want to talk about paper 2. Walimu, they are here, they will tell you much about how they're supposed to answer. But we ensure that they have something, at least there's something they can do.